My name is Frank Brazili, and I am a librarian here at Pierce College, and I've been here for about 6 years, and I've been a librarian for about 8 years. And I, to become a librarian, you need a master's degree. So what I did was I went back to school about 10 years ago to get my master's in library and information science. What's kind of unusual about this profession is that there's no undergraduate degree to really be a librarian. It doesn't matter what you go to school for to get your bachelor's degree in. It's actually kind of a second career for a lot of people. So most people become librarians after working in other fields for a few years, and then they kind of come to this other moment where they decide they want to change their focus, and then it ends up being like a second or third career for a lot of people. So my aha moment came about 10 years ago, and it was after my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And I remember we were talking to the doctor, and the doctor said, don't go on the internet to look anything up about this disease. And I wondered why that was the case. And it was kind of explained to me that there's a lot of information out there that's not very reliable. And it made me really wonder, how do people determine if something is reliable or not? What information is good and what information is bad? So it really made me begin to think about helping people do that, helping myself do that, and then helping others. And that's how I kind of thought about being a librarian, because we're information professionals. And I think the biggest surprise in this field was how much technology I needed to use. I think when you think about libraries, you think about books, kind of like you see behind me. And there are still books being printed, but I think it's safe to say that things are moving more online and electronic. And, lots of times if you're a student in school and you need to do research, you're researching articles online, and they just don't appear there. I mean, there's a lot of maintenance and technology and making sure links work, and it's a lot more complicated than I ever thought it was going to be. So I do a lot more work in the background to make sure that things actually work in the front, so that to make it as seamless as possible for people to find information. So yeah, the amount that I'd be using computers and the amount of programming that I would need to know was a big surprise. The advantage about being a male in this field, I think that it's something like 92% of librarians are women. I represent diversity. Most libraries usually have, if they have a male librarian, they just have one. So usually I represent just a different perspective. It actually, I think, makes it a little bit easier for me to find work, and it makes it a little bit more desirable to look at somebody like me, because I don't look like everybody else. I think for the people that I work with, it's different when I'm working with students or patrons. I think that they assume that they're going to have a woman as a librarian. So when I come along, I think sometimes there's this moment that they have to register and be like, oh, you can help me too. The economy has affected my job kind of significantly. Not my job per se, but the library that I work in. We've had to make budget, because we work for the state. We're a state agency, so we have to make cuts along with all the other state departments. So one of the things that I do is I oversee the budget for all of the materials that we buy. And we had to cut that by 20% because of the state budget cuts. So that has a really big impact on students and, and on faculty, and for just providing less access to information. We've had to cut our hours a lot, which has been really unfortunate as well. And a typical day for me would probably be a couple of hours working at the reference desk, which is helping students do research, helping them with some technology, that kind of stuff. We also teach. I teach online, an online class. I do that a little bit every day. Sometimes I work with individual classes, so instructors will come in and say, I have a research assignment, and then I work with students in that class to come to the library classroom and teach them how to use resources, how to kind of develop topics, how to how to evaluate sources, and basically get them academically prepared so that they know what they're doing so that they can graduate. And I do a lot of stuff on my computer, and I'm in a lot of meetings. I'm in a lot of meetings, so a lot of meetings.